Isles, 49 degrees 52 north, 0623 degrees west, a super wall dive ranging from 0 to 40 metres, located at the eastern end of Western Rocks, at the end of the rock island of Gorgon. A granite outcrop sits vertically between 6 and 8 metres above the surface, and there is a southern side to the Trenemene Reef. The rock continues pretty much vertically below the waterline, enabling our boat to drop us very close in. We still have to swim into the rock before descending, otherwise we would have missed the reef completely. We timed our dive correctly. A small shelf is to be found at 15 metres before dropping away again onto the sheer wall at 40 metres. Don't be surprised to be joined by seals on this dive. They come down to investigate what all the fuss is about before rocketing away again. The granite drops sheer and you can follow it around 40 metres. We chose a maximum depth of 30 metres to enjoy the tremendous life on offer and not incur great decompression penalties. The deep hue of the water gives way to blackness beyond 30 metres, giving a great sense of being on a wall. Our plan was to stay on the wall, and as our bottom time counted down, we would ascend and spend as much time on the reef as possible. Inevitably, as we descend, those last minute adjustments are required. A bit of mask clearing, and also clearing the ears just to keep yourself comfortable underwater. And now a quick look back to see where my buddy Les is. It didn't take long to find a reef. The profusion of life is quite overwhelming. Sea urchins, jewel anemones, dead men's fingers, everywhere. Every millimetre is covered. The organisms are taking advantage of the clean water, a plentiful food supply, and an easy place to set up home. It's absolutely spectacular, and just look down below, you can see the abyss. Here we can see a small group of Sagittaria elegans. This anemone, as you'll see in the film, can be found in many colour forms, this one being with white tentacles and an orange disc body. There are few finer sights in UK waters, seeing pulmose anemones fully extended feeding in the tide. Again, they come in several colour forms, a large crown of tentacles waiting to entrap any passing food, which it then retreats into its body to place the food in its stomach. Looking behind, I see my buddy Les, taking advantage of the great conditions and filming. He, like me, is clearly loving every precious moment we have on this reef. every nook and cranny is filled with life, laying testament to the clean waters. In the background you can hear our boat manoeuvring, possibly picking up divers. Here is a nice sized spider crab living next to some red fingers. The red fingers are out feeding in the tide, and the crab is at a hopeful. For many years I've had a no-take policy, so the crab is left alone. Here we come across a small sea cave. At the entrance you will see a large yellow boring sponge. Much of the organism is buried in the rock. It chooses to make its home on. This, if you like, is the fruiting body out for us to see. Dead men's fingers. This is the more common soft coral for the rest of the UK, but not here in the Scillies. The red fingers dominate. As you can see from this piece of slow motion, there is a slow moving snowstorm of food in the water column, and can't we see the effect? Life is abundant everywhere. Heading towards the halfway point in our dive, I take a little time to look down, and even though I'm in 30 metres of water at this point, you can still see the wall and the abyss in the distance. It is absolutely spectacular diving. I look back and you can see Les, my buddy, in the distance. Even though he's only a few feet away, he is dwarfed by the wall. You can see that the whole wall is covered in soft corals, as far as the visibility allows. Here we see a corner of rock sticking out into the tide. It's about 12 to 15 feet across. It's dominated by orange soft corals, pulmos anemones. I take a little time to stop and take in the scene. It takes my breath away. I turn back and make an audible signal, which makes Les look up my way. I try hard to explain how amazing what he is about to see is, but I don't think I do a very good job, and think it's lost in underwater translation. The male cuckoo wrasse, attracted by my finger dancing. Its behaviour is consistent with following crabs when they're feeding themselves. The crab disturbs the bottom and the cuckoo wrasse may find a meal for themselves. You can see here just how vibrant the life is. The sponges are absolutely thick, there's hardly a space between any of the sponges whatsoever. And looking back you can see Les coming towards me now, filming exactly the same area as myself. Going in close, you can now see pulmos anemones. Some of them are closed up, others are out feeding. It is a spectacular sight. One of the unusual things I've realised about diving the Scillies, fish life seems to be very limited. Even on the wrecks, normally in the channel and places like that, you see massive shoals of fish at this time of year. Not in the Scillies, it was very quiet. I find this quite strange and a little disturbing. The lack of fish life is a bit of a conundrum. Is this due to overfishing in the recent past? Is it due to pollution in the water? You wouldn't have thought it was due to pollution, looking at all the other life in the water, which is exactly the opposite, an absolute profusion. We're now coming towards the end of our dive, and we have dived ever shallower towards the end to make the dive as long as possible and decompression as short as possible. The Scillies is a relatively pristine area for diving in the UK, and I hope we all learn to look after it and appreciate it, so that future generations and our grandchildren can do the same as we're doing now, enjoying spectacular diving in such a wonderful place. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you on the next dive.